Hey Nash, what should we make?
Let's make our friend Frenchie's famous French onion soup burger. It looks and sounds amazing.
All right, let's make Chef Paul Denamiel's French onion soup burger. Welcome back to Chaos Kitchen, where sometimes we like to take famous dishes and recreate them to see if they're worth making at home. So today we're gonna make a dish from someone that we really love, Chef Paul the Animal Denamiel, AKA Frenchie, the co-host of the So You Wanna Get Fat podcast and Pro Chef Reacts, and was famously criminally robbed in an episode of Beat Bobby Flay, where he happened to make the dish that we're about to make. Because he should have won that episode, let's be honest. Today, we're gonna make Chef Frenchie's famous award-winning French onion soup burger, or Fosby as it's known by some, and it looks delicious. I'm excited to try it. So without further ado, let's go. So we start with a bunch of onions, more than you think you need. And then we thin slice our onions into like half moon kind of deals. Now I'm going by the recipe that was published by the Food Network, which I believe came from the episode of Beat Bobby Flay that Chef Paul was on. I believe he's mentioned, and I'm sure he's changed the recipe since then. So I'm doing my best, but I'm working with what I got here, a couple of old videos and a recipe that's published by the Food Network, and well, who knows how much you can trust them. So Paul, I'm trying my best. Frenchie, hopefully I'm doing all right. Anyway, so it calls for taking a hot pan on medium heat and then melting in 2 tablespoons of butter. But I thought, what's more fun than 2 tablespoons of butter? 1 tablespoon of Wagyu beef tallow and a tablespoon of butter. And then we let that melt. And then once that's melted, we add in our onions. I know this looks like a lot, but they're going to reduce considerably in size as they caramelize. We're just gonna get these guys sort of stirred in just to get that beef tallow and that butter kind of coating all of our guys. And then I don't know if this is a Frenchie thing, but it's definitely a me thing. I like to just hit these guys with a little bit of salt because it seems to speed up the sort of softening / caramelization process. So we'll get that all kind of stirred in. And then we just let these guys cook. You gotta be a little patient, and guess what? It's worth it. While our onions are cooking away, we go ahead and grate some elemental cheese. We grate some Emmanuel cheese. We grate some aluminum cheese. We grate some Emmental cheese. It's a type of Swiss. If you can't find it or you don't want to pay the price on it, it's not super expensive, but it's not cheap. Then go ahead. I think some Swiss or some Gruyere would probably work. Sorry, Frenchie. I'm trying to make this accessible to all people. And all in all, we want to grate about a pound. And once your onions are softened, give them a little stir-ski and hutch. Then we add 1/3 cup of cognac. Now look, if you don't have cognac, you could probably get away with using brandy. I'm sure bourbon, scotch, any kind of whiskey would probably do fine. But Frenchie uses cognac, so that's what we're doing. This is just gonna help our guys caramelize. So we get that kind of stirred in, and then we just let these guys cook. And once your onions are decently caramelized, I wouldn't say deeply caramelized, I would say I'm gonna stick with decently caramelized. Then we add 1 cup of beef broth and get that all mixed in. Make sure and scrape anything off the bottom that's stuck, AKA deglaze your pan. And then we just let that cook and let the liquid reduce. And once your onions are deeply caramelized and looking good, a nice deep golden brown, most of your moisture is all gone, then we can go ahead and kill the heat and either set this pan aside or take these out and put them into something else. Just set it in a medium sauce pot. On medium heat, we throw in 3 tablespoons of butter. You can do it. There you go. And then we just let that melt. Once your butter's melted, we add in 2 tablespoons of flour. Whisk that in. You just kind of want to keep whisking until you get rid of any clumps and until the smell of raw flour goes away and is replaced by a more sort of nutty, earthy, delicious smell. And you got to move quickly because we don't want anything to burn. But now we add in 1 1/4 cups of warmed milk. You want to add it in slowly. So add a little bit and whisk. And then we just keep doing this until you've added all your milk. Right now we're just turning our roux into a bechamel, and then we're gonna make it into a Mornay. A Swiss Mornay? Now I got questions. Why is French onion soup made with Swiss cheese? And through this whole process, you want to kind of keep whisking because we don't want anything to burn. We don't want this to brown. Then we add in 8 ounces of our cheese. So half of the cheese that we grated. It probably would have been a smarter idea to add that in slowly, but add a little bit, let it melt, add a little bit, let it melt, but I wasn't thinking. So this is what I'm doing. So we're gonna see if this works. Maybe if this works, then it'll tell you that it's okay to do what I just did. I don't know, we're gonna find out. Then once that's all melted, bring that up to a boil. Add a little bit of salt and some white pepper. And then we just get that all incorporated. Then we lower the heat and then cook this for another minute or two. And that, oh yeah, look at that. That's what we're looking for. That beautiful cheese pulley cheese sauce. Then we kill the heat. You could wrap this up in plastic wrap or just put a lid on it, move it away from the flame, and that'll keep it warm. So then we get out our KitchenAid with the meat grinding attachment, which I believe I've used like twice. I put these components, the meat grinding components, the metal ones, into the freezer so they're nice and cold. We also put our meat in the freezer so it's nice and cold. You don't want it frozen solid, but you want it nice and cold. The colder everything is, the better this is gonna work. I believe Chef Frenchie uses a chuck and brisket mix. I follow a lot of people who do their own mixes. I think a chuck brisket short rib mix is probably like ideal, but we're on a budget, so we just have some chuck. You know, once that ad revenue kicks in, or if we're able to get some good sponsors, then hey, then we can afford to do the chuck brisket short rib combo. Look, most people probably don't have their own means to grind their own meat. This whole channel is based around showing you that you can make this stuff at home. So look, just go buy some decent ground beef that's either 80-20 or 70-30. 70-30 might be even better from the grocery store, and you'll be fine. But we're trying to do this Frenchie's way, so here we go. We turn this on. I think it's 1 through 10. Y'all can see, I can't see, it's on this side. So then we got our chuck, then we're gonna go ahead and feed that in there. I got a little plunger thing somewhere, but I don't know where it went. Where did the plunger go? Where did my plunger go? Okay, we found the plunger. So turn this guy back on. We turn this up higher. That's a little bit better. All right, seems like that's what we're gonna get out of this guy. Now I remember why I don't use this very often, because cleaning it is a freaking joy, let me tell you. Now just to prep, this burger goes on an English muffin. Thomas English muffins, you know, the nooks and crannies. Most of you that are any younger than me probably don't get that, but that was their big marketing thing, is the nooks and crannies. A Thomas English muffin is split, but not exactly split. And most people use a knife. But the correct way apparently is to use a fork and just sort of find the little split and just sort of stabby stab all the way around. And then you get, look, nooks and crannies, yay. Set that aside. Then we gotta make our patties. So we got this little burger ring here. I couldn't get an actual burger ring, so I got this burger press. It's gonna have to work. I don't like the fact that it has the lines on it, like it's gonna make like fake grill marks or some shit, but oh well. So then I have divvied our meat mixture up into 6-ounce portions, because apparently Chef Frenchie's burger is 6 ounces. So you want to manipulate burger meat as little as possible. Otherwise it gets too tough and it becomes a meatball or a meatloaf, essentially. Or some sort of a donair, kebab, gyro, whatever. So we want to clump this guy together without manipulating it too much. Nope, that's not gonna work. I thought I could just use the beef to attract the beef like a magnet. So then we got this guy. We're gonna put it into this burger mold deal-ish thing. And we put some little parchment on top and we just give it a gentle press. We're not making, usually I love smash burgers, don't get me wrong. Normally, if I'm just making a burger for myself, I'll make smash burgers because they're the best. Because you got that Maillard reaction, all that caramelization, but on these, we want a nice, ooh, look at, oh, that looks actually really good. Yeah, I'm liking this. I am liking this. And then we just wash, rinse, and repeat for our next patty, or as many patties as you happen to be making. So then we want to take out a piece of wax paper according to the recipe. I don't have any wax paper, but parchment paper should work. And we're gonna pour the rest of our cheese on here, spread that out. Then we just want to press. It would probably be better if you use like a rolling pin or even like a wine bottle or something, but just, we're trying to press this in and make a sheet of cheese or something similar to that. I'm gonna take this burger mold because we want the cheese to be about 1 inch bigger than the mold, I think. Oh, this isn't gonna work. I don't know how he does at the restaurant, but this is not gonna work. So we're just gonna wing this. Maybe this would work if you had more patience than I do, but I don't have a lot of patience right now. So this is what we're working with. So let me bring back out our English muffin guys. Now I was planning on spreading butter on here, but I put the butter in the microwave longer than I expected, or longer than I wanted. So we're just gonna brush melted butter on both sides of these guys. Then on a flat top grill or cast iron, or an actual like gas grill, charcoal grill, or if it's all you have, like a saute pan will work. Get that nice and hot on medium-high heat. Then we put on a little bit of oil, or in this case, we're using Wagyu beef tallow just because we have it. Just get that sort of melted and spread around. Then we throw our English muffin buns on there, get those toasted. Then once these guys have a nice toast, we pull them, set them aside. Then we put our patties down. And we season with just a little bit of salt and a little bit of brown sugar, apparently. Frenchie, that's what they said on the Food Network thing. And they said it was your recipe. So if I'm wrong, let me know. I've actually never done this before, but hey, it could be good. I don't know. I mean, the onions are sweet, so maybe it works with the onions. I don't know. Then we just let these guys cook for probably about 5 minutes per side. If you want medium, so you can adjust that, and it's really gonna depend on the heat, etc. But for now, we just let these guys cook on the first side. And once you have a nice sear on the first side, then we flip them. I already seasoned this side before I put them in, so we should be good. And then you just let them cook for a few minutes on this side. I think I did 5 on the first side. It's got a nice Maillard reaction, nice crust, but I'm thinking maybe a little bit less on this side. Since I couldn't get the cheese into slices, we're just gonna pile a bunch of, because the cheese is supposed to be like dripping down the sides and shit. So we're just gonna put a good amount of cheese on here. And then once your burgers are cooked, see the I would like to melt the cheese a little bit more, but I don't wanna overcook the burgers I don't wanna sacrifice overcooking the burgers, so I'm gonna pull them now, and ooh, look at that. We got that extra crispy cheese. I'm just gonna leave that there, because that might be delicious. So I'm gonna pull them now, because I don't wanna overcook the burgers just to melt the cheese. I'm hoping the residual heat from the burger will finish melting that cheese, but now we move on to the next step. So now it's time to build. So we take our bottom bun, we put a little bit of Dijon mustard on there. Use a brush or a spoon, just kind of spread that out a little bit. And we place our patty on there. The patty's still a little bit bigger, but it's pretty good. And here, well, this is one of the little crispy cheese chips. We'll just go ahead and snack on that. Then onto that, we will stack a healthy serving of these amazing onions. And then we will top that with a little bit of our Mornay cheese sauce. Oh my goodness. I feel like it's thicker than it should be, but I followed the recipe. And then there's our top bun. And et voila. And there we have Chef Paul, the Animal Denamiel, AKA Frenchie's French Onion Soup Burger, or Fosby. And it's time for a bite. Cheers. This might be the best burger I've ever made. Might be the best burger I've ever tasted. Frenchie, I don't know how you did it, but you did something right. It's not simple, but it's not that hard. And I mean, the caramelized, I've had to put caramelized onions on tons of burgers, but the caramelized onions with that Swiss Mornay, with the Eminette, I can't remember what the cheese is called. Eminette, Emmanuel, whatever it's called. That cheese sauce with the cheese melted on the burger, that burger in general, it just really works. And you know what? I was skeptical, but the English muffin as a bun also works. I mean, I'm not surprised, but it definitely works. I have no idea how many awards this burger has won, because it's won a lot, but I'm only surprised it hasn't won more out of 10. And hey, that's what I think, but let's see what Nash thinks. Hey bud, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Can't wait to see Frenchie and Brian watch this and roast you.
Well, check it out. We made the French onion soup burger by Chef Frenchie that you wanted. And of course, we made you a dog-friendly version. Here you go. What do you think?
Holy cow, Batman, that's delicious. I'm sure yours is even better with all those onions, but this one is fire and it won't get me dead.
Anything you want to say to your fans?
To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment.
Nash approves, I approve. This burger is without hesitation amazing. Go make it. Like, even though it takes a little bit of time, it's so worth it. Frenchie, you nailed it. Now I know why this burger has so many awards, but I'm not surprised. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Really appreciate you all. Love you all. If you wouldn't mind taking a second, go like, share, subscribe, hype, hit the bell for notifications, all that good stuff. If there's anything you want me to make, you want me and Nash to taste, go ahead and drop that down in the comments. And hey, if you like this video, go check out some of our other videos somewhere around here. And just remember, cook more, eat better, embrace the chaos. That's it for now, folks. Until next time, be good and peace.